All right, here we go. What is going on, YouTube and everybody watching this? My name is Caden Hayward. I'm the CEO of Coach Hayward. We help busy working professionals permanently lose weight and feel amazing in their skin again. So what we're going to be going over today is the science behind how weight loss actually works. Now, I want to create this video because when you know how something works, when you understand the process behind something, it helps you in a tremendous amount to actually succeed at it. Here's an example. Let's say if you're learning how to cut down a tree with a chainsaw, you're nervous, you don't know what to do. But once you learn how to cut down that tree with the chainsaw, you then become a lot more confident with it. You understand how it works. So that way you can do it on your own and you have that control over it. And that is why I want to make this training today, guys, so you can have that control over your weight loss once and for all. So that being said, let's jump into the training. Now, before we start though, I just want to make one note. If you find that you get something valuable out of this training, whatever it may be, if it helps you in any amount on your weight loss journey, all I ask for is that you subscribe, you like, and maybe share it to a friend who might need this kind of help as well with their weight loss, because we all know what this struggle feels like when we're going through it, okay? Now, on the other hand, if you don't think it's that good, feel free to unsubscribe and delete me and never watch me again. All right, deal? Okay, so let's jump into today's training. Let me just open up my screen real quick. So the science behind weight loss. So here's the main points of what we're gonna be talking about today. Your BMR, what is it? Caloric deficit, why the gym alone won't fix your weight loss struggles, but why it does help, especially long-term, why crash dieting is horrible, and how do we get fat, find the key zone, and then a key note as well. So BMR. Your BMR is your basal metabolic rate. So what that is how many calories that you burn per day on average, just living your day-to-day life. So about 70% of the calories that you burn per day are burned just from you living alone. So just from your body doing its day-to-day functions, like your cells, everything in between, from all the functions that you do, that is your BMR. So like, for example, when they did a chess tournament one time, these people kept losing a ton of weight and they didn't know why. And they did a study on it and they found out that the reason being is because their brains were using up so much energy, burning so much calories during those chess tournaments that they're losing weight because they're burning, like, I don't want to say the number because I forget, but I believe it's around like 4,000 calories a day. So like that's like 1.1 maybe pound a day that they were losing from playing chess, which is crazy, which is insane. So the average BMR for the average person, we'll say, is anywhere between 2,000 to 2,400. Okay, so that's the average BMR. That's on average how much our body will use up per day. Okay, so that's just, like I said, that's the average for the typical person. So anywhere between 2,000 to 2,400 calories is what you're burning per day to just function. Okay. Now, as you age, yes, it gets lower. As you go through menopause, if you're a female, yes, it gets lower. But that doesn't matter as long as you know how to work around it. You can still continuously lose weight even while you get older. I have clients who have been in their high 50s, and even though that's not even old at all, but they still lose weight like that. Okay, so that is basically your BMR though. So your basal metabolic rate, it is what your body needs for energy every single day in order to do its day-to-day functions. So if you picture like a car and it needs gas every single day, let's say it needs 5 liters a day, and it needs that 5 liters in order to function properly, in order to drive, that is your BMR. Okay, awesome. So now that we covered that, let's go into caloric deficit. Okay, so what is a caloric deficit, guys? Caloric deficit is what's going to produce about, let's say we take the hormones aside, we take your cortisol levels, your sleep and everything, because honestly, guys, when it comes to weight loss, every little thing counts. If you don't sleep at night, it's going to affect your cortisol levels, okay? Your stress can affect your weight loss an unbelievable amount, okay? And everything in between. So let's just say though, caloric deficit is typically what will produce the results, okay, behind your weight loss. As long as everything else is good and stuff, then the caloric deficit is what is going to produce the results for the weight loss. If you're not in a caloric deficit, you can't lose weight, okay? So a caloric deficit is when you are consuming less calories than your BMR, okay? So like I just went over, your BMR, let's say, is 2,000. If you consume 1,700 calories, then you are in a 300 deficit, okay? So typically what someone wants to aim for, you want to lose about 1% of body weight per week, okay? That's a good example. So let's say if you're 180 pounds, then your goal would be to lose 1.8 pounds per week, which what you would want to do then, you're going to be wanting to burn upwards around 6,000 or being in a calorie deficit of like around 6,000 or so plus calories per week in order to burn 1.8 pounds per week, okay? So to burn 1 pound a week, you just need to be in a deficit of 500 calories a day. So that is what a caloric deficit is. So when this happens, what your body does then, it still needs to find that 300 calories, guys, in order to do its day-to-day functions. So what it's going to do is it's going to go into your stored body fat, okay? We store our body fat almost like a survival thing. Even people who are like very, very low body fat percentage, like marathon runners, they have, I believe, like 130,000 calories worth of stored fat and everything. So it's quite crazy. Your body fat and the fat that we store is really just like an efficient energy, almost like a battery just ready to be used, okay? So your body, what will do is it will go into its own, and it will start using that stored fat, glucose, everything to then use for energy so it can do its day-to-day function. And that's when you start losing weight, because your body then starts using its own fat and everything to lose that weight, okay? Does that make sense? All right, guys. Like I said, if you're getting some value so far, make sure you drop a like. If not, though, cut this video off right here. All right, so let's see here. What do we got next, guys? So why the gym alone won't necessarily fix your weight loss struggle, okay? A lot of people think they need to start working out, which is why they're not losing weight, but it's not, because it's the nutrition is like 90% of it, okay? So why the gym alone won't fix your weight loss struggles, but why it does help, especially when getting older. So the gym won't fix your weight loss struggles because you typically will burn around 200 to 250 calories per great workout, okay? So that's if you're doing a great workout. So here's the thing though, guys, okay? Let's say you step on a treadmill and you burn 200 calories on that treadmill after an hour of walking, all right? 100 of those calories were going to be burnt anyways, because your BMR, unnaturally, we just going to burn those calories anyways to function. So by your body, you're doing all that work. You're going an hour of your life to burn 100 calories. It's not too efficient, because it takes 1 minute to eat 250 calories worth of a cookie. So you eat a cookie, and now you have to spend 2.5 hours to try and burn that one cookie off. So that's why it's better when we just perfect the nutrition and get that habit down, and then add the exercise in as well, so it can help us look better, feel better, have that longevity for overall health reasons as well. You want to get stronger, everything, A to Z. We should all be working out too, okay? There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to weight loss, 90% of it is going to be in the kitchen, guys, all right? So let's see here. So why the gym alone won't fix your weight loss struggles? So that is basically why, guys, because you can work out every single day of the week, but if you're not in a caloric deficit, so let's say you're eating 2,500 calories, okay? You're eating 2,500 calories a day, your BMR equals 2,000, you burn 250 calories, you still are in a 250 cal surplus, okay? Surplus is when you actually start gaining weight. It's the opposite of a deficit. It's when you consume more than what your body burns, so that way you have extra, okay? And you store it, and you use it for later. So that's what 250 cal surplus, okay? So that is why right there for you guys. So moving on to the next step. So why it does help though, guys. It helps because you're going to be building some muscle. Okay, you're building some muscle mass, some dense muscle, and what that does is overall it boosts your metabolism, so your BMR is a lot better, so you burn more calories on average per day, because muscle, it takes up more energy in order for it to function rather than fat. Okay, so it's good to have more muscle mass in your body, so your BMR is higher. Also for men too, helps with your sex drive, your testosterone, everything in between there. And guys, it just makes us look a lot better. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is lose all that weight, do all that hard work, and then be that skinny fat. And that's why crash dieting is horrible, which I'm going to be going over in a second with you guys. Okay, so that is basically why, though, it's going to really help with your metabolism. Okay, exercise alone can fix a broke metabolism like that usually. Okay, moving on. So the next point, what we got here, guys, why crash dieting is horrible. Okay, why crash dieting is horrible? Well, the reason being is basically because it's you're wasting your muscles. When you crash diet and you go in such a, so a crash diet, guys, is when you go from, let's say your BMR is 2,000 BMR and you start consuming 800 calories a day. So number one, that is unbelievably unhealthy for you, and you're going to have some deficiencies. But also, what's going to happen is that you'll lose weight very, very quickly for like 2 weeks, because and this is average too. The average person will lose weight very quickly in the first 2 weeks, because also it helps like the water, which is attached to your stored fat and everything, that will come right out as well. And that's why if you go to a birthday party or something after a few weeks of losing weight, and you store that extra energy in your body, which you're not used to, then the water will sink to it as well. So that's why you'll see huge fluctuation in the scale, but nothing to worry about. It's just water weight. And that's what we always say by nothing to worry about, just water weight. Okay. But if you go down to 800 calories a day and your BMR is at 2,000 and you consume 800 calories a day, you crash diet, what's going to happen is that your body needs to find that energy still to function. And that's when it starts literally like being a cannibal and starts eating at your muscles and your stored fat, because once it goes through the stored fat, it will also equally go after your muscle mass as well. And especially if you're not working out, you're not having a high protein intake, it doesn't even matter by then. You're still going to eat away at your muscles because your body needs that to function. So that's when you start crash dieting. And that's when it's very, very bad for your overall health, because you're going to waste all that muscle. And what's going to happen here, guys, this is the most worst part about it, is that once you start dropping this weight and your muscle is getting eaten away, your metabolism is going to slow down. And then you go into what we call starvation mode. And that's when your metabolism is just crashed. And then you quit, and then you lost a lot of muscle. So after you quit, your metabolism is so low, and then you start gaining all this weight back because you start eating like your old habits. And it's just a horrible cycle. Okay, my clients have gone through it for years and years and years, and it's a normal cycle by now, but it's just not a cycle we want to be in. Okay, so that is that there. Moving on. So what time are we at? 8:30. Okay. So guys, how do we get fat? Well, I could do all the terms, but basically it's just a caloric surplus. Okay, that is when you consume more calories than your BMR. So you eat more calories than what your body burns per day. So that way it becomes stored fat. Okay, it breaks down in your body and it goes into you and it stores away for another day. Okay, that is why we gain weight. That is why we get fat. So there you go. Especially if our nutrition is not on point, and you're not eating enough protein stuff, and it's just horrible, like high carb, very, very low protein, high fat. It's just, that's not good for the organs and everything, guys, especially the subcutaneous fat too. So subcutaneous fat is we go by like pretty well our body fat percentage. It's like the fat that is right underneath our skin. Visceral fat is the stuff that kills us, which is around our organs. Okay. So find the key zone. The key zone is finding that perfect balance in between not being at maintenance weights and not being in a starvation mode / crash diet. Okay. So that is the key zone. And that is the scientifically best way to lose weight. So people might think it's very slow weight loss if they're only losing a pound or two a week. But actually, that's like the scientifically best way to do it because it won't crash your metabolism whatsoever. So long term, you will lose that weight. You'll keep on your muscle mass and you will currently keep it off as well because you're not really restricting yourself by then as well. You're actually doing it the proper way. So let's say you're 400 pounds though, it'd be normal for you to lose 4+ pounds a week. It's just, that'd be normal. And I remind you guys, every body is different. Okay. So find that key zone. And if you need help with finding that key zone, then make sure you reach out, either comment down below. You can email me, Coach Hayward at outlook.com, or whatever it may be. If you need that help, I'm here to help you 100%. Okay, so hope this is good for you guys so far. Now, the last key point here is that fat cells, this is really important to know, guys. Your fat cells will not release energy stores if your insulin is present, okay? So nutrition approach, which keeps your blood sugar stable in a healthy zone, is key fat loss. So that means watching your sugar intake, okay? Staying away from those refined carbs, those fast food meals that you can just really easily cook up in the microwave, all that, okay? So that's the last keynote of the day today. And that is the training for you guys. So if you like this video, guys, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like for more content. I'm going to be putting stuff out like this all the time from now on. And if lastly, if you need help with this weight loss journey, I want to help you. Okay. If you are a busy 40-hour+ worker, a full-time mom, you have weight to lose and you want to permanently keep it off and just feel good in your skin again without worrying about these health issues, then you are a perfect fit. All you got to do is email me. You can message me, comment on my post, find me on Instagram, coach.hayward, wherever you can on all social media platforms, and reach out, message me CH or YouTube, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And we can get you started immediately on a plan that will realistically fit you and your lifestyle. All right, guys, that is enough from me though. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this video, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Keep going. Keep working at your weight loss journey. You will 100% get there if you never quit and you just keep learning, keep growing, and keep going. I'll see you later, guys.